The Jetpack era of Call of Duty was very decisive, to say the least. Jetpack era of Call of Duty consisted of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, and Infinite Warfare. Honestly, looking back at it, it feels like there was more than 3 Call of Duties that had jetpacks, but it was only 3, surprisingly. And honestly, I think that the Jetpack era was the most overhated era of Call of Duty we have ever experienced. And it is interesting with how much hate the Jetpack era Call of Duties get with how highly praised Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is. I mean, you ask anybody their favorite Call of Duty, Black Ops 3 is going to appear in the top 5, which is very interesting. I understand from a zombies perspective, but from a multiplayer perspective, the balancing was not that good. You had weapons locked behind supply drops, and you had nutty specialist abilities, which were the most overpowered in any of the Call of Duties. And for the amount of hate Infinite Warfare gets for being futuristic and having spaceships, Black Ops 3 is way more futuristic gameplay-wise, and I feel like a way worse offender of the futuristic setting than Infinite Warfare will ever be. Not to mention that Black Ops 3 had probably the worst campaign in the entire Call of Duty franchise. Meanwhile, Infinite Warfare was actually really good. It's probably my top 5 Call of Duty campaigns, maybe even a little bit higher, and I remember Advanced Warfare as being pretty good too. But as much as I'm talking smack about Black Ops 3, I feel like all 3 of these multiplayers are really fun and enjoyable. Balancing aside, I know a lot of people care about balancing. Balancing aside, all 3 of these games are a lot of fun. Personally, I think I found Infinite Warfare's multiplayer to be the smoothest out of the 3. Black Ops 3 was, I feel like a lot more overpowered, and you had a lot more abilities than any of the other games, which could be fun, but at times it's also really frustrating. And then Advanced Warfare, I feel like it's just so different and unique from any of the other Call of Duties that we've gotten that I feel like it deserves its flowers. Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare definitely feel more similar than Advanced Warfare. Advanced Warfare was just its own animal. I feel like it was a good one-off title, and I feel like it deserves more love than it gets. And really, Infinite Warfare never stood a chance. People were sick of Jetpack Call of Duties after Black Ops 3, and then Infinite Warfare was already made. It became the most disliked trailer, I think gaming trailer of all time. And yet it still outsold Battlefield 1, one of the most hyped games at the time. And then both Battlefield 1 and Infinite Warfare killed Titanfall 2, probably one of the best multiplayer games that I've ever played. And definitely deserves a sequel, but we will never get it, but I digress. People want boots on the ground, and I feel like we've gotten the same game the past 5 years now, or 6 years, since Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the reboot. The reboot was fine, and now every single Call of Duty just feels like the same thing. It feels like a continuation of Modern Warfare 2019 gameplay-wise. There's little tweaks here and there, but overall the gameplay has not changed at all. There's still the same loading menu. The loadouts feel pretty similar. The movement feels very similar, bar a few Omni movement and stuff like that. And I feel like Call of Duty was better when each of the titles were unique from each other and not just a small continuation from the previous title. None of the new Call of Duties feel unique from each other, where I feel like back in the Silver Age, I feel like the Jetpack era is the Silver Age of Call of Duty, the titles felt unique from each other. Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, they all felt unique in their own ways. Some more than others, but still, you take these 3 titles and compare it to any other Call of Duty, they feel completely different. Where if you take, boots on the ground Call of Duty, it feels more similar to each other, if you understand what I'm trying to say. I feel like these 3 Call of Duties just got way more hate than they deserved. Even Black Ops 3 still got a lot of hate at the time. It kind of settled down now, especially with Zombies Chronicles, and it's solidified as the best zombies game in the Call of Duty franchise, which I kind of agree with. But at the time, it was still very hated, and there's a reason why they went straight to World War II after Infinite Warfare, and why Modern Warfare had to get a remaster with Infinite Warfare. These Call of Duties were just very hated, and I feel like it was so unnecessary the amount of hate that they get. And I feel like the Call of Duties today deserve more hate than the Call of Duties with Jetpacks got. I do hope one day we can visit the Jetpack era again, and I feel like it'd be a lot more polished, a lot more thoughtful, hopefully. And I feel like with Sledgehammer, if Sledgehammer Games starts developing games again or developing Call of Duties again, maybe they take control of Advanced Movement while Infinity Ward and Treyarch worry about their Modern Warfare and Black Ops. Although how futuristic both of those games are going, I'm sure jetpacks are in the future for those games as well. Maybe it's just a slight variation of it, because they're already going pretty balls to the wall with the movement as it is. I don't know. I hope that jetpacks one day return to Call of Duty. Maybe even it's like one every 3 years, just to help switch things up, so that way things don't feel so stale as they do right now. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think the jetpack era was overhated? Do you think it gets the right amount of hate? Do you want to see jetpacks in Call of Duty's future? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.